Managers very typically crave engaged staff. There's a natural assumption that engagement leads to performance in those staff. Now, engagement itself is a very complex concept. You only have to look at the Gallup Q12 questionnaire, often used to assess engagement within an organisation, to realise there's at least 12 attributes that measure engagement and 12 attributes, therefore, with which the manager can play in order to adjust what's going on, adjust the management style in order to achieve engagement. So engagement itself is quite a complex concept. Take, on the other hand, commitment. Commitment is a much simpler idea. You're committed to a company. If the manager doesn't have commitment, if his staff are not committed to the organisation, then that does lead to significant difficulties. If you have committed staff, then of course other leadership tactics, such as goal illumination and those other forms of getting staff to do what you want them to do, are possible. But without commitment, little can happen. So commitment, arguably, is a much more important facet of a manager's measurement, a manager's ability to achieve than in fact engagement is. So therefore, arguably, we should seek commitment over engagement. Now, there are three types of commitment. There's what's called effective commitment. That is to say, I want to stay with the organisation. Emotionally, you're committed. Emotionally, you say, I want to stay. The second type is, of course, I must stay. I've got a mortgage, I need the money, therefore I have to stay. And the third type is, I'm obliged to stay. Perhaps you've signed a learning and development agreement, therefore you must stay. Now, of course, the affective, the emotional engagement is much more important. It's much more important because the manager can actually do things to gain that commitment. Now, my research suggests that using social exchange theory, the manager can give. They can give, in the specific case of my research, they can give development opportunities, personal development opportunities, opportunities for personal enlargement, more responsibility, taking on bigger jobs, development, clear, straightforward training. Managers can give development opportunities. And my research suggests that in return, managers will gain committed staff. For those technically minded, the correlation coefficients vary between about 0.4 and 0.6, depending on the size of the organisation. So it's there to be had. The giving of personal development predicts commitment. So if we're looking for commitment, and I would argue that all firms are, then giving personal development does predict that commitment. And so managers should look at tactics for the linkage, exploiting the linkage between personal development and affective commitment.